it off.
Yeah, that's how we get it.
Yeah, cool. So I'm gonna rest on my camera. No.
You wanna put it back on this?
Oh, you bring it closer. Okay.
Switch off the mixer.
Hey, there was something inside.
Oh, they can't hear? By the way, the inside down by the jazz.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah.
the volume gone down too far.
Oh, this here's a little off.
Right.
Yeah, this here's a little off.
Yeah, so
Okay.
alright.
What we looking at? Yes, I hear that. Hear that. You remember I had the little spade here? Ah, me have a move it.
Good morning, sir. 712 reporting out of Panama. The third
You
session,
know, you
11th
got more
parallel.
now.
That is comprised of two sections and at the other, we take one section.
Right, that with it. Yellow still. Hold on, hold on. Where's the light though? Where's the top? This one go. Gary, what unplug did you? Power down the gun and put it back up in the thing. Right?
A proclamation by the Governor General, Dame Cecile E.F. Lagrenade. Whereas by proclamation dated the 13th day of September 2024, issued under subsection 1 of section 52 of the Constitution of Grenada, Parliament was prorogued on the 23rd day of September 2024. And whereas it is provided by subsection 1 of section 51 of the Constitution of Grenada, that each session of Parliament shall be held at such place within Grenada and shall commence at such time as the Governor General may by proclamation appoint. And whereas it is further provided by subsection 2 of section 51 of the Constitution of Grenada, that there shall be a session of Parliament once at least in every year, so that a period of 6 months shall not intervene between the last sitting of Parliament in one session and the first sitting in the next session. Now, therefore, I, Cecile Lagrenade, Dame Grand Cross of the Most Distinguished Order of St. Michael and St. George, Officer of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire, Governor General in and over Grenada, do hereby appoint the Parliament Building at Mount Wheldale in the town of St. George as a place where the third session of the 11th Parliament shall be held at 10 o'clock in the forenoon on Friday, the 4th of October, 2024, as the time at which the said session shall begin. And members of the said Parliament and all other His Majesty's officers and loving subjects in Grenada, and all others whom it may concern, are hereby required to take due notice hereof and give their ready obedience accordingly. Given under my hand and the public seal of Grenada, this 24th day of September 2024, in the second year of the reign of His Majesty King Charles III. God save the King.
God, we beseech thee, Almighty God, members of both these houses of Parliament, that they may wisely deliberate for the good of this country and for the glory of thy holy name.
Please join me in saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Pray, be seated.
oath and affirmation of a new senator.
I, Dwight Horsford, do swear that I will bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III, his heirs and successors according to law. So help me God. Thank you.
Senator Horsford, welcome. Members of both houses, it is my duty to announce the sad passing of Sir Danny Williams, KC, King's Counsel, former Governor General of Grenada.
Honorable members, against this backdrop, the passing of the late Sir Danny, former GG, both houses of Parliament would have a special sitting in honor of the late Sir Danny Williams.
Honorable members, is it your wish that the houses do now adjourn during pleasure to await the arrival of Her Excellency the Governor General? If so, please say aye.
Honorable members, this honorable house is now back in session.
Pray be seated. Honorable members, we shall now observe a minute of silence in honor of Sadani. Pray be seated.
All set.
Madam President, Mr. Speaker, Members of Parliament, good morning. As we gather today to mark this third session of the 11th Parliament, I am reminded that the strength of our democracy lies in our collective commitment to work together in the best interest of the citizens of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. Today, I stand before you with a great sense of pride and gratitude because despite the challenges of this year, our collective commitment to serve our beloved nation has never been greater. Golden Jubilee. On February the 7th, 2024, our nation marked its 50 years of independence, a defining achievement for our country under the theme, One People, One Journey, One Future, a testament to the strength, resilience, unity, and triumph of our people. This historic milestone was marked by a year-long commemorative celebration of events, projects, programmatic and policy initiatives truly befitting of our Golden Jubilee and which will culminate this month with the St. David's Parish celebrations. Notably, the celebratory activities included the issuance of a 50th anniversary independence commemorative EC $50 note, which is currently in circulation, the declaring of 19th October as a national public holiday in solemn recognition, reflection, and appreciation of the sacrifices of our heroes, the introduction and teaching of Grenadian history in our schools, which began in September of 2023, the publication of a 50th anniversary magazine, which documents the stories of past and present Grenadians who have made significant contributions to our beloved nation, the establishment of the CARICOM Roundabout, which saw the attendance of CARICOM leaders during the recently held 47th meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of the Caribbean Community, parish activities culminating in a magnificent National Independence Day parade with a spectacular drone and fireworks show which depicted the creativity of our people, the historic influencers who shaped this nation's destiny, and our iconic landmarks. Hurricane Beryl. But, Madam President, Mr. Speaker, on July the 1st, 2024, the passage of Hurricane Beryl tested the resilience of our people. The hurricane ravaged our shores, destroying infrastructure, schools, agriculture, wiping out entire communities in some instances, and disrupting livelihoods in the northern part of Grenada, especially on Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Despite this devastation, we continue to look ahead with a shared sense of duty, determined to meet and overcome the challenges brought to us by Hurricane Beryl. The people of Carriacou and Petit Martinique found solace not only in our shared strength, but also in the overwhelming support received from our fellow countrymen, our citizens in the diaspora, our regional neighbors, and international partners. I place on record our immense gratitude to all our partners and friends throughout the world for their support in the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl. I also place on record my government's appreciation and gratitude to all first responders, including the NADMA staff, GRENLEC and NAVASA employees, police and prison officers, healthcare workers, sanitation workers, and the numerous volunteers from Grenada, the Caribbean region and beyond, who selflessly assisted those in need. Madam President, Mr. Speaker, it is in moments of challenge that seeds of progress are sown. My government acted with purpose and determination in preparing for and responding to the impact of Hurricane Beryl. Our citizens were kept fully abreast of the developments before, during, and after the hurricane. Through our National Disaster Management Agency, NADMA, we coordinated relief to our affected citizens and conducted initial damage assessments. We have embarked on critical recovery and reconstruction efforts. In this new session of Parliament, we will intensify our rebuilding efforts. Theme, Madam President, Mr. Speaker, together we will embark on a journey to reconstruct, revitalize, and renew our resolve to transform our nation. Our aim is not just to replace lost or damaged social and economic assets, but to build back better and more resilient. With this in mind, we have chosen the theme for this new session of Parliament as unifying our focus towards Vision 75, as we continue to build together a just nation where every citizen has an equal opportunity to realize his or her fullest potential. This theme is deeply rooted in our Vision 2035, Grenada, a resilient and prosperous nation, with a conscious and caring citizenry, promoting human dignity and realizing its full potential through sustainable economic, social, and environmental progress for all. As we define our vision for the next 25 years, Vision 75, my government has been committed to laying the strong foundation required to take our people forward and with God's grace, to creating a better Grenada for all of Grenada. Our nation's recovery will not merely focus on rebuilding what was lost, but laying the foundation for a stronger, more resilient future. Accordingly, in this session of Parliament, my government will focus on rebuilding a more resilient Carriacou and Petite Martinique while advancing government's transformative agenda. Reconstruction and recovery. The path to recovery begins with rebuilding the physical and social infrastructure that has been ravaged. Our homes, schools, hospitals, and businesses must be restored. Our response will focus on restoring critical infrastructure with emphasis on disaster resilience, providing support and initiatives for businesses to reopen and create jobs, continuing to provide support to our citizens impacted by the hurricane. Our reconstruction efforts will be guided by our national building codes and other standards in order to ensure that the new infrastructure is not only restored, but built to withstand future challenges. A comprehensive national recovery plan is being developed with the full engagement of our local, regional, and international partners. These efforts will prioritize the inclusion of local workers and contractors, ensuring that the fruits of this recovery benefit our citizens first and foremost. Education and skills development. Madam President, Mr. Speaker, my government continues to stress the importance of developing and empowering our people, in particular, our human resources, which constitute our country's greatest asset. Education remains the foundation of our nation's long-term growth and stability. The hurricane severely impacted our schools, but it also revealed the importance of preparing our students and workers for a rapidly changing world. In this new session of Parliament, my government will continue its focus on improving access to education, improving schools' infrastructure, expanding access to digital learning tools to ensure that all students, no matter their circumstance, can continue their education uninterrupted, and enhancing the curriculum with a focus on technical and vocational skills development, equipping our young people with the skills needed for employment across all sectors of our economy, including emerging sectors such as technology and renewable energy. Madam President, Mr. Speaker, through these efforts, we will prepare our youth not only to rebuild our nation, but to lead it into a future of innovation and progress. Health and wellness. Madam President, Mr. Speaker, my government underscores its commitment to transforming our healthcare system as one of its top priorities, with the goal of making Grenada the health capital of the Eastern Caribbean. At the center of the transformation of the health sector is the new climate-smart medical city with teaching facilities. A key component of this project will be upgrading the existing healthcare service delivery to facilitate smooth transition into the new hospital. The new state-of-the-art facility will increase our capacity to deliver specialized medical care, be equipped with modern technology to ensure quality care, provide a higher standard of patient care. The new hospital project is expected to break ground in 2026. We also know that a significant amount of additional resources, investment, and incentives is required to attract, train, and keep our healthcare professionals, and that this is key to the transformation of the health sector. Government is committed to addressing this issue, and more details of my government's policy on this issue will be enunciated in the upcoming budget, which will be laid before Parliament in due course. Energy transition, environmental sustainability. Madam President, Mr. Speaker, my government reiterates its commitment to transitioning to green energy and promoting environmental sustainability. In this context, we must ensure that our energy infrastructure is modern, sustainable, and climate resilient. Government is committed to addressing this issue, and more details of my government's policies on this issue will be enunciated in the upcoming budget, which will be laid before Parliament in due course. Housing. Madam President, Mr. Speaker, Hurricane Beryl has exacerbated the housing deficit in our nation. My government remains committed to improving the quality of the housing stock and addressing key deficiency in the housing sector, including to build resilience to natural hazards. Accordingly, to address the housing needs exacerbated by Hurricane Beryl, the government is taking several measures, including Project Build Back Better, Project 500, the grant of tax incentives and waivers to support homeowners who are rebuilding or repairing their homes from the damage caused by Hurricane Beryl, the continuation of the Housing Repair and Assistance Program, the sale and distribution of the affordable housing units built by the government of China, and the use of modern modular housing. Agriculture, food and nutrition security. Madam President, Mr. Speaker, the agriculture and marine sectors, main pillars of our economy, were devastated by the passage of Hurricane Beryl. My government is fully committed to reviving this sector, which is vital for food and nutrition security, employment, and export earnings. The Emergency Response Plan focuses on incoming support to farmers and fisher folk, farm labor support, and farm input support. The recovery plan for the sector will focus on investing in modern farming techniques, sustainable practices, and climate-resilient crop varieties, revitalizing the marine sector with emphasis on sustainable practices and better marine resource management, supporting the revitalization of the livestock and poultry sectors, building the sector's resilience to climate change, including enhanced insurance coverage. National security. Madam President, Mr. Speaker, the preservation of public peace and safety remains a major priority for my government. We will continue to pursue policies that discourage crime and antisocial behavior, while at the same time keeping our no-nonsense approach to crime, in particular gun and firearms-related crime. We will continue to support our police and prison officers through the provision of better equipment and upgrading their facilities. My government will also begin the process of prison reform, including the identification of land for and the modeling for a new prison. Legislative agenda. Madam President, Mr. Speaker, in the upcoming session of Parliament, my government will prioritize a legislative agenda focused on fostering economic resilience, advancing social equity, and combating climate change. Some of the key initiatives will include new procurement legislation, energy efficiency legislation, deposit insurance legislation, pension reform legislation. More details of my government's policies, projects, and programs will be enunciated in the upcoming budget, which will be laid before Parliament in due course. Conclusion. Madam President, Mr. Speaker, members of Parliament, my government reaffirms our collective commitment to serve the people with integrity, wisdom, and dedication. In all respects, my government is committed to making and implementing long-term strategic decisions that will be beneficial to future generations of Grenada as it continues its mission to transform Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique with thoughtful decision-making, always mindful of the trust placed in us by those we serve. As we move forward, let us do so with unity of purpose, keeping the well-being of every citizen at the heart of our efforts. We remember the people of St. Patrick, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique as we continue in our rebuilding of more resilient homes, infrastructure, and the livelihoods of our people. The challenges before us are many, but so are the opportunities to build a future that is more just, prosperous, and inclusive. I urge each of you, as representatives of the people, to approach the tasks that lie ahead with resolve and compassion. Let us commit to working together with diligence and unwavering resolve so that we can realize a better Grenada for all. Madam President, Mr. Speaker, members of Parliament, it is therefore my distinct pleasure to declare the third session of the 11th Parliament open. Thank you, and may God continue to bless us all.
Be it resolved that the Honourable Houses of Parliament record their thanks to the gracious address delivered today to the Houses by Her Excellency, the Governor-General. And be it further resolved that the debate on the address be deferred to a date to be named.
Madam President, Mr. Speaker, I support the motion as put forward by the Honourable Prime Minister.
Madam President, Mr. Speaker, I wish to associate the Senate with the sentiment expressed in the motion.
Madam President, Mr. Speaker, I wish to second the motion as made by the Leader of Government Business in the Senate.
Honorable members of the House of Representatives, the question is that the Honorable House of Parliament record their thanks for the gracious address delivered today to the Houses by Her Excellency, the Governor General. Be it further resolved that the debate on the address be deferred to a date to be named. All those of that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it.
Honorable members of the Senate, the question is that the Honorable Houses of Parliament record their thanks for the gracious address delivered today to the Houses of Parliament by Her Excellency the Governor General. Be it further resolved that the debate on the address be deferred to a date to be named. All those in favor say aye, and those of the opposing view say nay. The ayes have it.
Madam President, Mr. Speaker, I beg that this Honorable House be adjourned sine die.
Madam President, Mr. Speaker, I support the motion as presented by the Leader of Government Business.
Madam President, Mr. Speaker, I wish to associate the Senate with the sentiment of the motion.
Madam President, Mr. Speaker, I wish to second the motion as made by the Leader of Government Business in the Senate.
Honorable members of the House of Representatives, the question is that the House be adjourned sine die. All those of that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it. Indeed, the ayes have it.
Honorable members of the Senate, the question is that the Senate be adjourned sine die. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. You adjourn.
This honorable house is now adjourned. Sign it aye.